INFJs slam the door on a poisonous relationship when they are continuously hurt or when the hurt is severe enough. The infamous INFJ door smash is not intended to harm the other person. It's about guarding against more harm. Although many INFJs can have an outward appearance of being chilly, our hearts are sensitive. We can only endure so much suffering before we decide to cut toxic people out of our life, usually for the better. But occasionally, despite your best efforts, someone will force their foot through the opening in a relationship, trapping you in its toxic embrace. I prefer to refer to it as being haunted. Just enough of a breach exists in the door to allow them to enter and aggravate the situation emotionally. Usually when I slam an emotional door, it works. But for a year now, I've been plagued by a ghost of a friend, and it's got me thinking. Maybe you're experiencing something similar. If so, you are aware of the mental turmoil and detrimental effects that a door that has to be closed but is still open may cause. What I've learned is that the door is always kept open for a purpose. The challenge is identifying the root cause so you can take the appropriate action to fix it. Why didn't you slam the door? INFJ. You haven't slammed the door yet as an INFJ for the following 4 reasons. 1. Business left undone. This applies to the circumstance involving my haunting ex-friend. The unfinished business may be that you didn't express your feelings to them when you saw someone's true colors, and they treated you poorly. I was unable to express to her how I felt about her as a person and as a supervisor. I didn't get the chance to let her know that I knew I couldn't trust her, but I defied reason and had to suffer the consequences. I missed the opportunity to tell her that just because some other people don't recognize who she truly is and what she's ready to sacrifice to succeed, doesn't mean they won't. However, the truth is that I could have informed her all of this to her through email, text, or letter. But because I'm an INFJ, I can tell you that even when we feel absolutely deceived and crushed, we still don't want to offend anyone or stir up a fight. Instead, we let the pain to consume us as it swirls about in our bodies and minds. So how can you make it right? You have several choices. The first step is to approach the offender and air your feelings. This could be an excellent method to determine whether you really want to slam the door or whether you're ready to start over if it's someone you see frequently, like a family member. If you are unable to confront the person, write a letter expressing your true, unfiltered emotions, but do not send it. Sometimes just writing it down and giving it the room it requires is enough to set you free and allow you to move on. 2. Required interaction. It's frequently not feasible or possible to completely shut off communication with someone. There were numerous occasions when I wanted to slam the door on my former friend, and should have, but I couldn't because we worked together. For many INFJs, it's impossible to slam the door, lock it, and toss away the key because forced engagement can make the hurt worse. There are steps you can take to prevent more harm if you find yourself in this situation. Reduce your interaction. Sit or work far away from them. If at all possible, avoid engaging them in conversation or going out to lunch with them. To avoid having to collaborate, you can even request that your supervisor move you to a separate project. Control your response. Say no to requests that seem absurd without providing an explanation. A toxic person is one who won't listen to your point of view, per definition. Try saying I'm busy then or I'm sorry, but I can't do that right now. No need for an explanation. Build relationships with others. Find other employees you can trust who will energize you rather than exhaust you. Developing positive interactions with others can really aid in the healing of some of your hurt. It can serve as a reminder that you're not by yourself. Most crucial, keep in mind that this circumstance is transitory. One of you will eventually go on to something new, and you'll be free to recoup, heal, and lead the life you want. 3. Repeated reminders. When you're surrounded by frequent reminders, it can be difficult to slam the door. For instance, on social networking, my old friend and I have a lot of friends in common. Her face frequently appears in the images of my friends in my newsfeed even though we are no longer connected. Even though I detest being reminded of her and the suffering she inflicted on me, I am aware of my friend's full entitlement to continue being her friends, hang out with her, and adore her. It does hurt, but I have to keep in mind that it is my grief, not my friend's pain. Perhaps seeing this individual at work, school, or even family gatherings serves as a reminder. No matter how hard you try, there are certain people you just can't get rid of. Because you have no control over what other people publish or who you have to engage with in daily life. Fixing this is a little more difficult. You might have to conceal your shared connections from your feed on social media. This will give you time to mentally be ready before viewing their images and updates. There is nothing to be done about real-life reminders other than to ignore them or emotionally block them out while staying polite and professional. 4. You aren't prepared. Although you certainly don't want to hear it, there are occasions when you don't slam the door because you're not prepared for that relationship to end. This can sometimes be related to point 1 because, perhaps, you've known them for a long time and it hurts to let them go, no matter how much grief they've caused you. INFJs are idealistic, and we have a deep-seated belief that everyone can choose to be a better person. It's difficult to give up hope that they'll change their behavior in the future. It's acceptable if you're not yet prepared to close the door. Pay attention to your gut feeling, but keep in mind that sometimes INFJs shield themselves from hurt so intensely that we can't have deeper connections. There are instances when improving your boundaries and discussing the matter with the offending party are sufficient to relieve your anguish, and a door slam is not necessary. Also keep in mind that you are not weak if you decide to slam the door permanently, or if you choose to open the door again. That takes courage, the courage to speak up for what you need and for yourself.